Hey, football fans, this is Gary Greene in Las Vegas, longtime sports handicapper and professional sports bettor. And Gary wins videos. And we're talking college football unbeatens. And there's 10 of them left. In the beginning of the year, I went on a lot of shows and I said that I prediction that no college football team would go into the college football playoff undefeated, except if it was going to be Liberty because of the schedule that they're playing. It's almost like they're playing a lower level college football, but it is what it is. As far as everything that's come out so far, the more shocking thing is that Alabama has 2 losses, Ole Miss has 2 losses, Georgia with a big win over Texas on Saturday, so they scathe away from having 2 losses as well. I think the hidden gem team is Clemson, and of course they got killed by Georgia. And interesting, right now, if the season had been over with the way things stand right now, they would end up playing Georgia again in a rematch, which would be awesome. I'd love to see that now that Clemson is playing really good ball. But we have a few teams here to look at. And what's interesting is you have BYU and Iowa State in the Big 12, a down Big 12, both still undefeated, and they don't play each other. So one's not going to knock off the other, and that's that's given an opportunity that both of them can still finish undefeated going into the title game, which in this case they would be playing each other. So somebody would have to lose, but that means that the winning team would be undefeated, which would defeat my prediction. I like BYU better than I do like Iowa State. And I think that BYU has a favorable schedule. All the games left for both of these teams, Iowa State and BYU, they're all winnable, very winnable. There's no, like I said, with certain games left on the schedule that you expected from day one. I expected Indiana to lose against Ohio State at Ohio State. To me, that wasn't even going to be a question. Of course, it makes it harder now because Indiana, that's undefeated, and I thought that Kurt Cignetti, the head coaching hire for Indiana, was the best head coaching hire of the offseason. This guy's a mastermind genius, and he's going to do wonderful things at Indiana. The recruiting will get better now. Winning is a big ingredient to being able to have success in the recruiting wars. But they lose their quarterback for a thumb injury Saturday against Nebraska, and we never know what's going to happen ahead. He's going to miss at least a few games and then come back, and how do you know? No one can really predict how you're going to come back from a broken thumb. So that's going to knock them out. But they even had a tough game this week anyway, because Washington is a pesky team. They keep you in there. But the offense was really, really, really rolling for Indiana. Just hats off to this team. They had playmakers, and they're scoring and scoring and scoring on it seems like every possession. They've been fun to watch. I've taken Indiana on a team total over 4 times this year, where I've excelled in team totals, and they're just blowing by the number. It's almost laughable how good that offense has been. So it's a shame to see him go down, to see where they really would have stood. But the key teams really left. Again, BYU or Iowa State has a chance. Of course, Oregon should make it to that championship game against Ohio State if that's the way it pans out, which I think it will. So they'll just have one more game left where they could get beat. So that was always going to be the thing. Somebody was going to have to lose, Ohio State or Oregon, when they played each other in the regular season. And then would you get a rematch? Obviously, that's where my prediction was going to go awry if I was going to lose. But Army and Navy obviously aren't going to go undefeated. Both of them play Notre Dame, and although they both could probably beat Notre Dame, we've seen Northern Illinois beat a Notre Dame team, so not that surprising. The funny part will be, and it'll be like the joke's on me, because I just can't stand the head coach at Miami. I think he's one of the worst head coaches that I've seen in decades. He can mess up the greatest thing, and so far he has not been able. He has tried to mess up this Miami team, but it hasn't worked yet. He's been close. But Miami just keeps getting the victories, and you got to tip your hat, Cam Ward. I'm a Florida State guy, and we got Ooga Ooga, Lugga Lugga, and they got Cam Ward, Miami. So Florida State gets a terrible bum, and Miami gets a superstar talent that I thought that Florida State had a great chance and a great opportunity to get. He chose Miami, and for Miami, he's been a difference maker. 7 300-plus passing yard games. But the defense really gives up the points as fast as the offense scores them, so that's going to be difficult. They got an easy game this week with my Florida State, a 3-touchdown favorite. And when you look at the board this week, I mean, you have BYU, who would be the one team that's, in jeopardy, that looks like they still have a possibility because they're at Central Florida in a real low spread. They're even an underdog, a +1.5, which is to me a little bit surprising because Central Florida's just been god awful and their head coach sucks too. So wouldn't be surprised if they just keep losing and losing because he's so unprepared for game after game. And BYU to me is one of the best coach teams. They are well prepared. They don't have an overwhelming loaded majority roster. They got a nice quarterback, but these kids play the team ball. They play together. They create turnovers when they need them, and they're just tough. They're just tough-minded, and that's why I could see them being the one that comes out of that Big 12 with the title this year. What a remarkable job that'll be for my guy at BYU. As far as the other teams, Penn State, this is going to be a tough game at Wisconsin. Wisconsin right now, offense clicking, they're running the ball. The offensive line is just manhandling defensive line that they've played the past few weeks. The running game's working. The defense is playing really good. And Penn State, we've seen this time and time again. They go on the road, and that's where they're going to struggle. And I'm really surprised that they're about a 7-point favorite the way Wisconsin's playing right now the last few weeks. Now, of course, that's off of the early part of Wisconsin's schedule. But teams start to gel sometimes, and I really like the way Wisconsin's been playing. And Penn State, I like Penn State. I like the quarterback. He's a savvy veteran guy now, and they have a lot of good pieces. The defense has some studs. So, they're a good team, but that's a very losable game, and Penn State's got a tougher schedule going forward. The Pitt Panthers are not going to go undefeated. They're very fortunate to have been where they could easily lose 3 straight in a row here down the stretch. So there's really a situation here now where Oregon is going to probably end up, if they could just win out the way they're supposed to, and they're going to be given 20. I mean, they're giving a decent Illinois team 20 over 3 touchdowns. That just shows you that the difference of the talent that they have. But I don't think they've played any great games really yet. Even against Ohio State, they played good. I don't think they played great in that game. I mean, they made some big plays and enough to win the game. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm going to, if I have to make a prediction, and a couple people asked me on a radio show yesterday, which one of your teams do you think will finish undefeated? So since I have to pick somebody, and it would be easy to say Oregon will scrap them out, I'm going to say it's BYU. And I just think that this team has the makeup to continue to win the close games, get that key turnover late, well-coached team. I like that. All the kids are like 35 years old. Not really. They're, in their, 23, 24 range. So that type of experience when you have, quality kids, quality coaching, and it's a team atmosphere. There's no superstar. I mean, like you look at some teams and like a Colorado, it just seems like there's 3-4 guys and then the rest of the team. And no one even cares about the rest of the team. And you kind of see that in the makeup of the team, although they have played well for the last couple weeks too. But it's interesting if we see, we might see 3 or 4 of these teams get knocked off this week. And that would not be that surprising, and then we'll be down to a really low number of undefeated teams. But we'll go with make a little crazy prediction. We'll go with the BYU of the remaining teams not named Oregon to finish the season undefeated going into the conference championship game. So check out all our other videos. Stock up, stock down videos are good ones to really learn some key nuggets this week. And check out all my tip videos on how to be a better winning sports bettor. And I've been doing this for 35 years in Las Vegas, way before it become legalized across the country. And there's a lot of guys out there. You got to be real careful. A lot of people posing that they're been in business forever. I saw a young kid one day posing that he was a 20-year winning bettor, and I said, "How old are you?" And he said, 26. So I said, "Wow, so that was good. You started even way earlier than me, and I started when I was really young myself." Although I've been doing this 36 years and I'm 60 years old now. So I've seen it all, done it all, and been here in Las Vegas doing radio shows. I had the longest running radio show in Las Vegas for over a decade, and did more shows in the casinos than any other person in this business. So I know what I'm talking about. I can lead you the right way. If you don't have time to do all the homework, just check out my videos on a regular basis and check out Gary Wynn's videos each and every day. Have a great week.